You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with, anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876-922-4113 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254. There's also 876-279-8598. And we'll remind you of the others as the program progresses. But for now, let's hand you over to your host on today's edition of Land Solutions, attorney at law, Calicia Findlay. All right, just checking if she's still on the line. All right. See if we can get that going again. The conditions on the outside, I would imagine, might not be too favorable. But we'll continue to check. Okay, we're still up and running. So once again, over to attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Someone wants to know what is the cheapest way to add a name to a title. The cost depends on the value of the property. So I really can't say what is the cheapest way. There really is one route to add a name to a title, and it's to do a transfer, meaning you're going to be transferring from A to A and B or what have you. And the cost is going to be dependent on the value of the property, and perhaps depending on where the property is, the transfer tax can be a little cheaper, and you can use the taxpayer value depending on where the value of the property. Sorry, depending on where the property is located. So if you want to add a name for title, start by doing a valuation. Now, you don't have to do a full valuation. You can do a valuation letter or an opinion. Send that to us along with a copy of your property tax receipt so we can know what the actual value is. And from then, we can give you an estimate of the cost to add the name to your title. Is it the law that there is a grace period of 7 days to pay rent after it is due? No, it's not. Your rent is due when it's due. So if your lease agreement says it's due on the 1st or the 15th, that's when it's due. I think one person believe there is a grace period is that sometimes because of delays with bank transfers or just tenants being late, sometimes landlords, if they don't get the money right away, they may not say anything. So they wait a couple of days. But really, there is no grace period. The law does not provide for a grace period. Rent is due on the due date. And what many landlords are doing nowadays in their lease agreement, they are stating specifically that if the rent is late, there's going to be a late fee attached to that. So, as much as possible, try and pay on time. As I always say, if you're having a challenge or you foresee that there will be a challenge, have a conversation. What happens too often is that the rent is paid, and as the tenant, you just say nothing. sometimes have a whole conversation with the guys that that can be helpful sometimes.
We have a caller for you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Finley.
Afternoon,
Hope you're doing well.
hello.
Miss Findley's on the line.
Not hearing anything, Dervan. Are you hearing?
Mhm.
I'm hearing you, yes.
Yes, Miss Finley, good evening. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks, same to you. How may I help?
Yes, I kind of have a problem. I don't really understand the word power of attorney, and I noticed that come up very often on your program. So could you please explain that for me, please?
Sure, no problem. All right. Power, when we refer to a power of attorney, this is a document giving power to someone to act on your behalf. That is simply what it means. The power, we know the ordinary meaning of the word power. When we speak of attorney, it's not an attorney at law, but what we call an attorney in fact. And I don't want to get too technical, but a power of attorney is a document that gives someone else the right or the authority to do business on your behalf. So, for example, let us say I own a house, and for whatever reason I am unable to conduct business. I can appoint Dervan as my agent to do the business I need done on my behalf. So that's simply what the power of attorney is. An appointment of someone to act on your behalf. So whatever it is that I could have done as the owner of the property, in appointing Dervan, he can now act on my behalf. And when you're doing a power of attorney, when you're appointing someone to act for you, you have to be very careful and expect to have an attorney to search for you. Don't give them God's power. Set a limit, set an expiry. But in short, that is what a power of attorney is. So continuing with our messages.
Yes, I think that's about it.
Okay, Dervan, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks, Dervan. Again, our number to call in live on air is 876-922-411-264. That's 876-922-411-264. And the text and WhatsApp line is 76881-5254. I'm wondering if that line maybe open to Dervan and getting a little feedback.
We could check, but not that we can
Okay.
readily detect at this moment.
Clearly, right?
Say that again, please.
You're hearing me clearly?
Yes, we are.
All right, no problem.
Uh-huh.
Continuing with our messages. There's an error on my survey diagram, but I can't find the surveyor who initially did it. What can I do? You don't necessarily need that survey. You could go to any other surveyor. You could also try contacting the surveyor's association. So yeah, if you could tell me exactly what the error is, but like I said, you can try any other surveyor, or if you really want to get back in touch with this one, try going through the surveyor's association. Because that fails, you may just have to sign a new surveyor. Can you sue the previous owner of the land for not disclosing a fee said? We can, but we probably won't because when you buy property in Jamaica, you take it as is. And it's something that comes up all the time. If they buy a beware, that is the principle. So as the buyer, you can that you have inspected the property, that you have done your due diligence, and that you're taking as is. And you can't say after a transaction has been completed that the seller didn't disclose that there was, some issue with the soil or it's not suitable for construction, what have you. Because in contemplating buying the property, the law says that you would have done all your checks, or you should have done all your checks. So if you try to sue the person chances are you're not going to be successful. In fact, it's next to impossible because the onus was on you as the purchaser to do your check. See, I heard what you said earlier about an offer. After it has been signed, how soon should we get the sale agreement afterwards? Again, there is no set time, and the set times I can give you is as soon as possible. So, offer is signed by seller and the buyer. What happens next is that the seller's attorney is sent to prepare the agreement for sale and send it over to the buyer's attorney for them to review and agree on the terms, etc. Once the parties agree on the terms, then a deposit is paid and the parties sign the agreement. So there is no set time. Some attorneys may move a little quicker than others. Some may still be waiting on information from the parties. No set time, but try as much as possible to get this done as soon as you can, because as I would have said earlier, an offer to purchase is not binding. A seller can go with someone else even though they have signed an offer to purchase with you. Can I will my hope to my adopted son instead of my biological children? You can. There is nothing in the law to stop you. In fact, you can will your property to just about anyone, a stranger, a friend, an acquaintance, a co-worker, the church, anybody. Um, and this is the beauty of making a will, and this is why I encourage persons to make a will. In a lot of instances, some persons, and it's just, it's the fact of life, some persons are just not close to their family members. They may have a dear friend or someone, someone that's taken care of all their life who not really in a formal adoption, but they look at this person as if that person was their child. And if they don't make a will, when they die, the law says those persons cannot benefit. When you don't make a will, the law has a table, a list of persons who are entitled to appliance services, and perhaps that's not what people have wanted. So it is always in your best interest to make a will. And in this case, if you want to go ahead and give your property to your as I can benefit, then you can. Many persons still think that they must give their property to their children, to their spouse, for a relative. You don't have to. And of course, we know how contentious property matters, how contentious deadlines can be in Jamaica. So if you are concerned, you can also state in your will clearly that I am willing this property to Mary, my friend, and not to John, my son, because in my lifetime, John is not a nice person. I'm trying to be political, but yes, you can state why you have excluded someone from your will. And in stating why you have excluded someone from your will, that can help to minimize the chances of them being successful if they try to challenge your will. But yes, to go back to your go back to this question, yes, you most certainly can will your property to your adopted son instead of the children. If you can't do, it's also an option. If you can, if you're willing to, if you're able to, you can go ahead and add their name to your title while you're alive. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Borough 106 FM. The time is now
3:59.
More roads a major concern? What about those drains that are in need of repair or cleaning? Who's responsible for repairing my road and when will it be done? Join us this and every Tuesday morning at 8 during Morning Agenda as we travel on our roads with the National Works Agency and get answers to these and other concerns. You're welcome to visit their website at www.nwa.gov.jm. See the tender notices link for projects to be undertaken. You may also call them toll free at 1-888-429-5NWA. That's 1-888-429-5692. Or follow them on Twitter at NWA_JA and Facebook at www.facebook.com/NWA Jamaica. The National Works Agency, developing safe, reliable, and quality roads.
You're listening to Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, featuring Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. And we have a call.
Dervan, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon,
Yeah.
Jamaica.
Could you explain to me what when someone die and they say all their belongings left in an estate that should be shared for her children? What is an estate?
Your estate is basically what you have left outside. So it's your property that you would have owned. So let us say you own a house and you die, your house now becomes your estate, becomes a part of your estate. Understand?
So it is only a house or there other
Any
things.
property that you, I was just giving you an example. Your estate is any property that you would have owned.
So if the person leave money to is that in the estate,
Yes, yes.
and then it would be that she leave he or she left the estate like in a law firm or a family member of how does that go?
You're asking me if they can leave it with a law firm?
No. So
Go again, go
the
again.
deceased person, the person who died,
Yes.
and leave the estate. So it's necessary that you leave it in a law firm or just a
No,
family member.
no. So let us say, for example, someone has died, right?
Yeah.
And in their will, they say, I leave the money in my ABC bank account to my son. That money is just going to be there sitting in the bank account until the executors have sorted out the estate.
So
Understand?
so everything rely on the executor.
Exactly, yes. That's why you have to choose them so carefully.
So okay. So it's not necessary that there's a law firm already. Is that so?
No. In fact, after you die, your executors can decide which law firm to use. You don't already have to have one in place, no.
So when they say repeat, what is I don't know if I call it that.
When they say, probate?
Probate, right.
Okay, all right. So probate is the official process of filing the will in court and getting the court to approve it and to say, yes, it is a valid will. That is probate in a nutshell. So it actually comes from the word prove, meaning the court has proved that the will is valid.
Oh.
So when you make a will and you die, your executors make an application in court to have the will probated, meaning to have the court verify and confirm that the will is valid.
Okay, the law what that means. Does the executor have a special time where he or she has to get his wrap up?
No, there is no special time, but of course what we say is the sooner the better. Because the longer you wait, things get more expensive, persons, beneficiaries may get upset or agree that you're not acting quickly enough, so as soon as possible.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time.
You are very welcome. Thanks for listening and thanks for calling.
Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye. Take care. What's the process to sell a house if there are two people on title but one has died? It depends on how those two people own the property. Once you have two or more owners on a title, they can either own it as joint tenants or tenants in common. So if John and Mary are on title as joint tenants and John has died, Mary needs to file what we call an application to note John's death. I'm sorry, Dervan, do we have a call?
No, not
Okay, no problem.
no. Sorry about that.
No problem. If John dies, Mary needs to file an application to move John's death if there are joint tenants. That application can take maybe 3 to 6 months. So that's joint tenancy, the owner's joint tenancy. Once that application has been completed, then Mary can sell the property. In fact, she can start the sale simultaneous with the application to know John's death. If John and Mary own the property as tenants in common, then John's estate either has to be probated if he left a will or administered if he did not leave a will. So that process is a little longer, takes about a year. And then you have to have the administration or the probate for the property can be sold. So it depends. The question is, what's the process to sell? If there's two people on title on one day, it depends on how the person owns the property. Does one family member who paid the back taxes that were owed on the family land, does that mean that that person can claim the land? No, by itself, no. And as we always say, paying the property taxes alone does not entitle you to make a claim for that. If you live on the land and you're paying the property taxes, then you can make a claim. But let's just say that you live somewhere completely different. Let's say you live overseas, in another parish, in another town, and all you do is pay the taxes, then no. That by itself does not entitle you to make an application or to claim the title or to claim the land. So please get that out of your mind. Someone wants to know if you have to go to an attorney to apply for a splinter title. You don't. But it can be tricky. So my advice is, of course, to use an attorney. Where should one look to find a will or a title? For the title, titles are public documents, so you can get a copy of any title at the title. You cannot go on name search. So you cannot go to the title office and say, give me a copy of all the titles that have Dervan Malcolm as the owner. You cannot do that. But what you can do is you can say, I want a copy of the title for 123 X Avenue. Or I have this volume and folio number, those are the title reference numbers. Or I have this valuation number, I want a copy of the title. And that will cost you either $500 or $1,000 for each title. With a will, it's not as easy because a will doesn't have to be, if someone makes a will, it doesn't have to be filed in here. You can make a will and keep it at home to the trust, and it doesn't have to be officially filed or anything. If an application for probate has been made, you may get a copy of that to your county Supreme Court. So there are instances where it's just going to release a copy of the will to you. They usually do that only if you are an attorney, or you can show that you are a beneficiary under the estate. So, will perhaps from the Supreme Court get a copy of a title, you get that from the title's office. Can you appoint someone as an executor if you've never met them, or if your beneficiaries have never met that person? Technically, you can. There's nothing to stop you. Let me start with the beneficiaries first. So, Can you appoint someone as an executor? Your beneficiaries have never met them yet. Um, the beneficiaries don't have to know the executors and vice versa. And I think you asked also, can you appoint someone as executive you've never met? And I suppose you can, but I really want to. Let's say you heard of this person who is a noted JP politician, teacher, what have you. You've never met them. Why would you want to appoint them as your executive? You don't know them. You know if you trust them. Or do you even know that they are willing or are they even stable? So while it is technically possible as per some basic advice, um, as I was discussing with that previous caller, executives have great responsibility to it. So I cannot for the life of me see why you would want to appoint someone who you don't know. And it may sound strange, but I have seen instances already where a person not only appoints someone as executive who they've never met, but also persons will appoint someone as executive and they haven't been known the person, but they haven't told the person that they have appointed them as their executive. And then the executive will decide and reach out now after the person has died. And the executive comes in and says, I don't know anything about this. I don't know what to do. In fact, you know what? I don't even want to do it. So have these, I know they can be difficult conversations, but have these conversations, please, before you choose your executive. So what if end up in a situation where your executives are sitting there lagging, nothing is being done because your executives are unable or unwilling to, to take on the responsibility. And it is a great responsibility. Who should keep a title after you get it from the title office? Um, you should keep a title, if you want to give it to someone who you trust. There really are no special rules for keeping a title. So same for a will. Put it somewhere, store it somewhere safe. Let someone who you trust keep it if you want to use that option. If you have an attorney who is willing to keep it for you, certainly that can be done. But what is critical is that they're kept somewhere safe. Because if a title is lost or damaged, you have to do what's called a lost title application. It is tedious and it is not cheap. And usually what happens is those persons only realize that they can't find their title when they're ready to sell the property or do some transaction. So what ends up happening is that whatever it is that you want to put into the title ends up being delayed. Now we have to do the lost title application. A will, no, that is where the headache happens. Executors, beneficiaries, some don't even know there's a will or they knew that it was kept at a certain place. And after the person has died, they're trying to find it and they can't find it. And a lost will is as good as not having a will at all. But if you can't find it, there's something that can be done. So please make copies of your will, give them to someone you trust, put them up carefully, don't put them all on it. It doesn't make sense to have three wills, copies, and they're all in one location. So just be very careful, put the documents up carefully, especially now with the inclement weather. Please be very careful, keep safe, keep your family safe, and your documents also. Feel free to continue sending your messages to 876-881-5354. Thanks as always to Dervan and the team of 4106. You guys keep safe too. I've been your host for today, Felicia Fitness. Take care, everyone.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaican Customs Agency is 3:30. All you'll ever need to know about agriculture in the 21st century. Packed into one program. Farm Talk with Alka McKenzie. Farm Talk, showcasing cutting-edge agricultural products, services, and practices. Farm Talk, keeping focus on issues affecting the farming community. Farm Talk, stimulating discourse to propel agriculture as a national tool for development. Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, the farmer's best friend.
When I used to be in the morning, and the way you interview people so that us as farmers can really understand it, break it down. It's really powerful.
Wake up to Farm Talk, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Here are a few messages from Cuban in Georgia. Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. We need to hear from Ron on the corruption happening in government. Sir Malcolm, the government of Jamaica has failed the people of Jamaica to defend the rights of our citizens. We have very weak leaders in Jamaica who are afraid of the white man. If the white man says to our leaders, just they ask, something missing again. If the white man says to our leaders, just they ask the white man how high. We are not afraid of the white man as the older Jamaicans are. As Bob Marley says, the older Jamaicans, and something is missing there. Next message, the Jamaican older politicians are scared of the white man, just as those governments in Africa. You guys are just a weak bunch of white man lovers. Sir Malcolm, these Jamaican politicians are a bunch of scaredy cats, afraid of the white man and a puppet, and carrying out the orders of the white man. That's from Cuban in Georgia. Patrick, otherwise known as Jamaica Love, says, Sir D, please. This one says, both sides of the story. Miss Lou Intel, images. Imagine, boy, is in foreign. The foreign, this is somebody trying to write Jamaican. Even, I think I know the poem you're reciting though, or would want to have recited. No Little Twang, that's what it's called. No Little Twang. Is it? We're moving on. Point. Is it? It is better for them to be saying, boy is boy. He is an English minister or boy. He can twang, so. My Yankee man. Jamaicans than to be saying how him want Oh, I'm sorry, this is going to take a while. But we get the general gist of what you're saying. Thank you for the message. Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says Dervan, the government is still drawing down the 8 billion yearly from the housing trust. Dervan, there's no need for the government to continue to do this. And some of the other messages that have come in. This one from Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, I noticed the PM is setting a different type of wicket that can neither take spin or pace. It's a wicket that only him alone understand it. And there was one just before that. Mr. Malcolm, how I see the Huber thing play out from the back. I must say thank God for NHT, because the way how NHT work with their customers, I must say big up to NHT, because it looks like if where the bank, lot of us would live on the streets. And I think we're going to leave the messages there for the time being. All right. This one says, good afternoon, esteemed lawyer. When and how should an executor or a person acting on his behalf declare interest? Can a beneficiary acting for an executor make private arrangements with other beneficiaries? By the way, I'm just reading a couple of lines of this message, because I would imagine this was meant for Calicia Findlay. So we'll forward the message. Another one here, this one says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan. This Michael, please send my message above where I am using the name Nathaniel from Havendale. Okay, Nathaniel from Havendale. Let's see the other messages here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Also coming through, Carol Boyth saying, good afternoon, beautiful people. Let's find warmth and joy in each other's company this rainy season. Stay cozy and safe. Nicola in central Jamaica says, jump, not just. Cuban in Georgia's message. Good afternoon once more. Good afternoon, Nicola. Thank you for your message. And all the very best as we continue with more here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still taking your calls, your text messages, your WhatsApp messages. Please feel free to share. Those numbers once again, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Looking forward to seeing more of those messages and taking more of your calls as well here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. So keep those messages coming in as we continue with more on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And who is this now? This one says, greetings, Dervan. What does it show when a leader feels to verbalize that they are the leader? From DP. Well, action speaks louder than words. You could try that approach. And you can just be frank and speak your mind. You might also make the decision to pull back. Maybe you were coming forward and you decided to come back and take another route. The choice is yours when it comes on to these matters. Choice is yours. I see June Andrea Hutchinson is somewhere on the line here. Maybe just popping in to pop back out. But it's good to have you on the platform. As we continue with more on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And we continue to take your calls and your messages. And looking forward to more of your calls and your messages. 876-922-4112-5. Wonder what Wilfred is saying now. He's coming through on one of our lines. Sorry about that. Let's try again, Wilfred. A slip of the finger. All right, let's see. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm independent to make the USA election, and in Jamaica, just reading what the Prime Minister said about PMP. What is it? PMP and crimes, something like that, on the hard journey to go to Jamaica website, and I'm like, this man is saying SOE, this crime control, when
hold a moment, please. Hold on, please.
The actual.
Real Business, appointment radio for everything economics, locally, regionally, and internationally. Real Business, your source for engaging conversations on business, finance, and economics. Join hosts Rosalind Hyman and Dr. Angela Sutherland from 9 to 11 a.m. on weekdays as they bring you the most authoritative analysis on economic matters. Listen to riveting features such as The Big Picture, Under the Financial Microscope, the Business Information Update, and the local and international market updates. From the latest happenings on various business sectors and players in the economy, to how fiscal and monetary policies affect your life, make it Real Business on Power 106 FM, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11 a.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
Both sides of a story.
Yes, Wilfred, you were saying?
Regarding PMP and criminalized, and I'm saying he's making some rhetoric that are not good because the statistics will show that without SOC, poor systems administration of a less heinous crime rate, death rate than the current JLP, and even during his administration, he's having better crime statistics this year without SOE than during the years with SOE. I'm thinking, what does the Prime Minister spend with? Figures are he using and how does he come to such a conclusion? Given what the actual data show.
Well, maybe you could ask for more from the standpoint that since you have found some kind of solution in what you just said, then why not give it a try then?
That's what I'm saying, because the Prime Minister is reading the data correctly. His best year is this year that had no SOE. All the zones here and the SOC years had high heinous crime rate, 1,500, 1,600 a year. The eyes on the PMP Post administration was 1,280 something. Not once has he reached below 13, and this year is the only year that seems as if good would. And he had no SOE in this year, apart from the one back up in East Kingston the other day. And how come JLP with 1976 SOE aren't going to happen by taking away the right of fellow black youths in Jamaica, locking them up for nothing, is fighting crime? To me, those are low intelligence.
Who's doing that?
Dictatorship. No, it is there, but given 1976 and JLP mantra against SOE, and JLP kept nearly 3-4 years of SOE, and now Andrew talking like SOE is the way to fight crime. That SOE lock up a person for nothing. You lock up over 100 odd person. We must start the truth and not be afraid of the truth being spoken, because the Prime Minister and his fellow Alibaba and his 48 might be better. The truth is to start saying.
So who's lying? Who's lying?
Like the report. It's just like
who's lying?
Report, Dervan.
Who is lying?
Told us is not me saying,
No, I'm asking a simple question. Who is lying? Who is lying?
No, I'm not saying anybody is lying. I'm saying people might feel vexed because they know ego is big. Ego is big. But those statistics and things that give them concern in the IC report, the road, the spirit, what Rhoda told us, is what the IC report, if you read it, told us what I heard Lambert Brown said in the Jamaica Senate, and so forth. You understand? What I heard KD Knight, Mark Golding said.
Okay.
And what I read Mark Golding, etc. Like Beaston, it said in the newspaper what? In the Observer, Green and Star headlines. And I don't think those medium are lying. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough.
To begging JLP and Morgan to support Mr. Morgan. Look at the bridge done by prejudice and you're on the radio every day defending Mr. Morgan, who still have charges and can be convicted. Who's that sister? Yeah? Right now they call North Carolina for Trump already. But Miss Haley and Mr. Body, former Democrat, is the early card of voting. This is the first time much Republican ever book a Republican being old time as those old time Americans say that they vote mostly in election day. You know, it's usually a Democrat, usually leading early voting. You know, Trump way ahead of it. Just if I could show you, because we're in WhatsApp on the news mark. I'm telling you, in Jamaica, we want the government to fix road like how they fix America, road by road. We need to fix it lasted 10, 12 years. That other roads can get fixed and fix up Marcus Garvey every 3 months.
Well, as we have said before on this program, we have more road network than a lot of big countries across the world.
This country still need more roads.
So
it's
almost like taking on more than we can handle.
Mm-hmm. This is Dervan. When I say about tourism, all farmers get all 10 million, 15 million, all Miami, all 20 million tourists there, and we boast about 2.5 because we have too much high crime and dirty politics and poor rural infrastructure, road structures and things to facilitate more people moving freely as they can in the United States or in Bahamas. They got to be coming to Jamaica on the USA, saying you don't go that place, don't go that place, don't go that place. So I tell all the youth, them don't come things from me, you to tell them. So the crime and violence at downtown property, them supposed to be the most expensive property. So if you have fight that have no one and all, it could then become the cheapest property. It's just the mentality, the type of living. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like downtown Manhattan,
So how you think we can change that? How do you think we can change that?
The mental education, the mentality type of living, the mentality. It's just the mentality, it's hard to change. Like I tell you, it's hard for minds to be emancipated. People have to be aware of those things. In my apartment downtown Miami, for very expensive, like downtown, to the crime and violence, then like the cheaper. Remember, then I'm town, Alman town, them was high real estate place when the rich man, them usually live at those places. That's how we live here, them become cheap because we fight cost quarrel, tell them in their mentality, leave a lot of people, and we have to rule up, so I'm going to rule up those young so you have to rule up all these people, we can't let them have complete freedom. You get what I'm saying?
We hear you.
Yeah, you have a blessed day. So
You too.
Feel the power of the Lord come down. I say, hold out your head, don't be afraid.
Thank you very much for your call, Wilfred, and all the very best. As we continue to take your calls on both sides of the story, Paro 106. This one says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Are you or your listeners able to give an update on the St. Thomas roadway? I really need to take some visitors to Morant Bay. How long would the journey take, given the current road conditions? Can use Google Maps to find that out, which would be a supposition. But of course, we're still on air and we have to keep it going. But if and when we're able to, we'll do a quick calculation and see what that is like. Norman Hines responding quickly. He says, road good to come. St. Thomas, no. Road good to come. St. Thomas, no. Okay. And Norman Hines should know that. That's his place, so to speak. So thank you very much for that quick decision. So you should be good. Should be good. Thank you for your message. Franklin McDonald says, I am sure your studio has a barometer. Sure about that. All right, let us know where in the studio it is housed, so we know where to find it, Mr. Mac. How about that? So Mr. Mac says, I am sure your studio has a studio barometer. Are you watching it? Is it falling? This is a fundamental piece of hurricane preparedness, instrumentation, which I assume your studio is aware of. So Mr. McDonald says this is a fundamental piece of hurricane preparedness, instrumentation, which I assume your studio is aware of. Thank you, Mr. McDonald. As we continue to keep it going here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And Patrick Evans says, good afternoon, Dervan. You respect load. What say you about the crap going on in the Jamaica Labour Party? Is using the PNP. Nobody can use you without your permission, you know. Using the PNP that the people rejected as a yardstick. They say the PNP. Okay. And then there's another message from Galloway, Kevin, saying greetings to you and the JCF, JDF, NHF, and all amazing facts media groups for Jesus' sake in these last times. So those are the most recent of the messages. We're still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Renee Beckley, good to see you online, popping up. She says, I listen to you most days. I have been phone calling for your fellow Jamaicans. Let's take the break and come back.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is...
Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. The 50-30-20 rule. Creating a budget can help you make confident decisions and enjoy peace of mind. A detailed budget, though, can be complex to manage. For one easy way to plan your spending, you may try using the 50-30-20 rule. It splits expenses into just 3 categories and also offers recommendations on how much money to use for each. The 50-30-20 rule recommends putting 50% of your money towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards savings.
The savings category also includes money you will need to realize your future goals.
Both sides of the story.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. So we were checking out Renee Beckley's message. She says, I listen to you most days. I have been phone calling for your fellow Jamaican Kamala Harris. We may not know the election results until Wednesday. I will type it here when it comes in on your Wednesday show, says Renee Beckley. Thank you very much for your message, Renee Beckley. Also messaging us, Franklin McDonald says, Dervan, since you cannot find your studio, could you ask some of your listeners to read their parameters and give you information on whether it's falling or rising? The fall of the barometer is one of the most reliable bits of information to indicate the approach of a storm or hurricane. More Jamaicans need to remember that. In the first line, it should read Studio Barometer, my artificial intelligence, dictation, hallucination to control for a moment. Thank you, Mr. McDonald. And David Crossburn says, hello, Dervan. Earlier, you mentioned a nugget on Mary C. Cole. Is it that her mother was born at Balaclava, St. Elizabeth? No, I can't say that she was born in Balaclava. In Balaclava, she had a shop, according to the history. She had a shop at Balaclava, and that was connected to that place in the Crimea. Is it the Crimea, Balaclava? And that had a connection as well with the uniforms worn, the kind of clothing that was worn back then. So there's a bit of a connection there as well. But what we do know is that she started a shop, she opened a shop, one of those multi-purpose shops, so to speak. You get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, etc. And let's see. So, but since we referenced her, just a quick look. So how did we come to be talking about Mary C. Cole? It's because of today's date. It happened on this day in 1854. Florence Nightingale and her nurses arrived in the Crimea. And then following closely on that, 1855, Jamaican nurse Mary C. Cole entered the city of Sebastopol in the Crimea with the British troops and their allies, and won a bet that she would be the first woman to enter the city from the English lines. Mary C. Cole, who had been nursing the troops during the Crimean War, was born in Kingston, where her mother kept a lodging house on East Street called Blundell Hall. Balaclava, St. Elizabeth, was named after the site of the battle in the Crimean War of 1854 to 56. Balaclava, St. Elizabeth, is named after the site, as we said, of the battle in the Crimean War of 1854 to 56, fought by Great Britain, France, Sardinia, and Turkey as allies against Russia, and perhaps in recognition of the fact that Mary Seacole, Jamaican nurse, was designated the Florence Nightingale of Jamaica for her care of the soldiers. So that's the information there. We hope you found that information useful, and we thank you very much here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. As we continue with more on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, and still taking your calls. 876-922-4112-5. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you. I just want to, my call is this evening is to say hello to one of your callers. I don't recall his name at the moment, but he calls from either Canada or the USA. And he always gives...
That's Steve McDonald in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
I was going to say that I am very entertained by his calls. I like listening to him, and when he's on the line, I don't leave the radio. I always stay and listen. I also enjoy listening to Neville. I like to hear what Neville has to say. So I just want to say that, Mr. Malcolm, that when you are facilitating Mr. McDonald, it's well appreciated. Yes, sir, that's what I want to say.
Okay. There's one thing though. I think there are two McDonalds. There's Steve in Toronto, Canada, and there is Franklin McDonald.
Trying to pinpoint. I'm trying to identify the particular one.
Steve is based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and Franklin McDonald is also in Canada.
Okay, the one I'm thinking of is, I would say, the more controversial one.
That's Steve.
Yeah, right, all right. Yeah, he has a lot of interesting information there, and I don't mind hearing it at all myself. I don't mind hearing those
The cut and thrust.
Yeah, cut and thrust of it all. Very it's very interesting and fiery. Yes, very fiery. Yes. So I for your call, sir.
Hope he heard you.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Thanks for the call. Take care. Let's take another call here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon, Mr. Neville Carter. How are you? Fine, thanks.
Yeah, I want to thank that caller for the compliment, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I also enjoy listening to all the callers, you know. Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Malcolm,
Yes.
Iran, Iran and Turkey is still state from Britain until when and Wednesday. When you're playing was taken over. And they are succeeding in the higher school of community. He has told the population and he showed them in the Quran why it is a principle for this and for this Iran to retaliate against Israel because they are violating the principles of the Quran. And Mr. Malcolm, you know that when somebody do you something like they disrespect you or they do something against your principles, you know you have to take a stand against that person, Mr. Malcolm.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Irrespective of the consequences that it may cause, Mr. Malcolm.
Mhm. No, you have to stand for something or fall for anything.
Yeah, that is why in our culture, you know, Mr. Malcolm, especially in our political culture, when you hear the Prime Minister talk about the past of the PNP, and when you hear the PNP talk about the past of the JMP, the people of Jamaica need to really look into the dirt that they're telling us about each of themselves and do something about it, you know, Mr. Malcolm. Because at the end of the day, it's the Jamaican people going to suffer the consequences if we don't take a principled stand on these things that they're talking about.
Yeah.
For example, the amount of murder that is going on in the country. And yet the murder is getting more brazen and more brazen. And yet the PNP cannot solve it, and JLP cannot solve it. Yet they're cutting the one another and talking about PNP hitting and also about cyber hitting and killing. And at the end of the day, another black boy get round the lane and it just cuts up the 90 and it just comes back. We really need to do something about it now, you know. Don't you think it's a man come?
Long time.
Long time.
Mhm.
Let me give you two suggestions that I have come up. Cut giving and cut getting. We need to really, just like always, you go to church and you ask in the pastor to pray for you and ask Jesus to forgive you. Don't you think we can forgive and forget our one another, Mr. Malcolm?
We have that capacity, but if it needs to be, I don't want to use the other word I was going to use, but it takes something to release that energy. Sorry, sorry to do this, but we have to take a break. One moment, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. How much do you know about spices and the impact they have on your everyday life? Join us every first and third Thursday during Farm Talk with Alvia McKenzie at 6:18 a.m. for Spice of Jamaica. We'll give you tips, tidbits, and interviews about the revitalization and sustainability of the Jamaican spices, including ginger, turmeric, and pimento. That's Spice of Jamaica every first and third Thursday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Alvin McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Spice of Jamaica is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food for Purpose Jamaica Spices Project.
Sides of the Story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Indeed, thank you very much for staying with us on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Yes, Mr. Carter, back with you.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, I think the time has come in Jamaica where we need a truth and reconciliation. Community, especially in this time of the new world order, what's going on in the world. Because if we don't, that's black people, we're going to suffer more because clearly the two political parties, they can't help us. Clearly they can't help us because if you notice what is going on, even with the artist don't know, this don't have special operation. Mount Salem was the first one. Murder was in Mount Salem over the weekend, I think two people got murdered in a recent period, 4 million. So clearly this don't have special operation that was set up nearly 5 years ago. It's not solving any real problem, Mr. Malcolm.
It's obviously going to take more than just what has been done or is being done, from all indications.
And it doesn't seem, despite the amount of money, the salary increase that all of these politicians get, it doesn't seem to me that they are willing to sit around the round table, just like at the BRICS summit, where you see 37 countries sit around a big table, and everybody's talking how they're going to de-dollarize from the US dollar because the US using their money as a weapon. I know they're going to work together to make sure that they can buy goods and services in their own currency and bypass. It's full time now, it's PNP and JSP and private sector people sitting around a big round table in Jamaica House and decide how we're going to solve Jamaica's problem and remove this political divide. That's not, it can't serve any purpose going forward. World War III, World Samantha. What do you think?
There's an expression that I repeated and I repeat from time to time, getting to the point that you just did. Who is going to bail the cat?
We pay people millions of dollars.
Mhm.
We pay the office of the Prime Minister $28 million a year to solve it. We pay the office of the opposition $24 million a year to solve it. Plus we pay all of these policemen, all of these judges, all of these MPs to solve it. And it doesn't seem to be there's no collective will for everybody to come and say, well, this is my suggestion, what is your suggestion? And we put everything in the pot and try and solve it. Here's what's going on the political arena.
Mhm.
Another thing, Mr. Malcolm, the big election coming up this week in America. I hear that the businessmen over there, everybody backing down, people buying shutters, as if some major catastrophe is expected after the result of the election. You hear about it?
Yeah, well, you could read the cards.
You can read the cards, what you read from the cards, Mr. Malcolm.
Well, you could have done that reading from the June 6th uh, siege of Capitol Hill.
The American dream that we have been sold from my own little baby boy. This American dream. That American dream is no longer reality, Mr. Malcolm. Because if it was an American dream, it wouldn't matter who wins the election, don't you think?
Yeah, all is not lost.
All is not lost. And they are saying that Trump win is going to deport a lot of people. and that deportation going to destabilize a lot of the economy. And it's going to put on a lot of tariffs and foreign goods. That means Donald Trump is not good for the world, Mr. Malcolm, would you say?
Well, Donald Trump, in reality and word speaking, tells the whole story.
Exactly. And if you look at the policy of the lady Harris, she is going to promote a march on Mr. Malcolm. I don't believe for promoting a march and is a good thing, Mr. Malcolm, in the sight of God. Huh?
No,
It's because we don't want children to be born again. Why?
but look at what has happened to us now. Now we're literally begging for the procreation of more children.
Mr. Malcolm, you know, a lot of people don't understand the consequences, the economic and personal consequences that we realize in the next 20 years if you don't have sufficient children.
Mm.
Can you just briefly explain to them and make them know to the whole system of the pass down on Mr. Malcolm?
It's going to end up with an aged or aging set of people, which would have implications for procreation.
And who is going to continue to pay this national debt? And who is going to continue to pay the taxes so that the Prime Minister retires and still live a decent life and getting big pension? If the children have to do that, you know, Mr. Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I'm based on what I'm seeing in the world today, Mr. Malcolm. I believe in Jamaica now. The time has come for the population of Jamaica to get to the two political parties. JLP and PNP, you don't make one.
Hmm.
And we have to find a way to get rid of both of them. Because none of you make one. They're not sitting down in the interest of the people. With all the mark holding, proven skill that he has. With all the holding, proven skill that he has. They're not sitting down at the table and say, well, you know, Mark Holding tells me that they're not going to work with him for 13. This is a good idea. Mark Holding, so you know that Andrew Holding is a brilliant man. This idea can work. Everybody just trying to undermine each other and collecting this big salary every month. And still want more money, Mr. Malcolm. In an environment where we have less children born. So what they're going to do?
Insist.
They're going to borrow more money to survive their pension and put it on the back of our life in the name of the law. What the thing, Mr. Malcolm?
It ultimately is left up to the people.
Ultimately left up to the people. But it's don't you think that the people have to have a certain amount of intelligence and a certain level of education in order to make a better discernment, Mr. Malcolm?
I'm not looking too far past that, because it's a matter of having a group of people who are able to convalesce around particular principles and approaches and actions. And I still believe that we have more than our fair of share of more of our share of the men and women who can make a difference.
It can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And you think a lot of them is in the media which the people are relying upon to get accurate information.
Manner of speaking. In every sphere of life, we can find people with purpose.
And let me ask you this before I do this.
It happens.
It happens. The
Yes.
next time you hear it, you Mr. Malcolm, why you come tell me, yeah? Please, me I beg you.
Mm.
As a principal position. The next time you hear one of these politicians make something that you say, no, lie myself. Because next time you hear them start any line on Mr. Malcolm, you have a company that come ball out, you know. I mean, a busy the one who not like when you say, no, because I'm not talking the politics. They're talking principal position in order to help the children who is coming up in this world, you know, Mr. Malcolm. Because when you look at what is going on across the world, right now America telling how much gunship, how much aircraft into the Middle East, and Iran closing the new space, preparing for retaliation on Israel. And when you hear much baby dying in Gaza, you have to protect the black babies then in Jamaica, you know, Mr. Malcolm. We have to start